Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're staying positive and testing negative. I hope you're having an amazing day and better after watching today's video. I'm super excited for you to watch today's video and I hope you're excited too. But before we start, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. Then without further ado, let's get right into this video. So VIVO IPL 2021 restarted in the UAE after it was postponed in India in May this year due to some unfortunate circumstances as a few players tested positive for the virus in the biosecure bubble. But that was in May. There was a lot that happened after that. And it finally restarted with the El Clasico of the IPL, Mumbai Indians versus Chennai Super Kings in Abu Dhabi. Just taking a quick look at the points table at the end of phase one. Not that this really matters now, but I want you to look at one thing. Look at the number 7 spot. You see KKR, they were just on number 7. They had won only 2 out of their first 7 games. But then eventually they ended up qualifying ahead of the Punjab Kings, Rajasthan Royals, and the Mumbai Indians. I just wanted you to take a look at that. First game after the restart, as I said, was the El Clasico, and the Chennai Super Kings won that game by 20 runs. CSK, after opting to bat, scored 156 for 6 after a brilliant 88 not out from Ruturaj Gaikwad, young champion Ruturaj Gaikwad. CSK actually were 11 for 3 or something at one stage, and Gaikwad really pulled them out of trouble and took them to a winning score. Mumbai Indians failed to get it. They lost by 20 runs as they only managed 136 for 8. So CSK got the second phase underway with a win over the defending champions. And the man of the match was undoubtedly Ruturaj Gaikwad, who played an exceptional knock. Match 31, KKR versus RCB. It was an absolute one-sided affair, and Owen Morgan's side won it by 9 wickets. RCB opted to bat and scored only 92 in 19 overs, and then KKR, they overhauled the target with minimal fuss, 94 for 1 in just 10 overs. Certainly boosting the net run rate, which came into play later in the tournament. Man of the match was Varun Chakravarti for his brilliant mystery spin, and he was instrumental in getting RCB bowled out for 92. Finally, we had a nail biter. We had a last ball finish. We've been used to these last ball finishes over the years, and we finally got one here. Punjab Kings versus Rajasthan Royals. Rajasthan Royals won it by just 2 runs. And the man of the match, man of the moment, hero of that match was Karthik Tyagi, the bowler you see on the left of the picture. He defended 4 of the last over. So Rajasthan scored 185 in their 20 overs. They were bowled out for 185. And Punjab only managed 183 for 4. And Karthik Tyagi gave just 2 runs in that final over. What an over that was. Next game, match 33. Sunrisers versus the Delhi Capitals. Sunrisers just not able to get a win at all, and DC won it by 8 wickets. SRH opted to bat and scored 134 for 9. Definitely not enough. And DC bossed SRH in a one-sided game, chasing down the target in just 17.5 overs. Man of the match, however, was Anrich Nokia for his brilliant bowling performance. Match 34 was between Mumbai Indians and KKR. KKR won it by 7 wickets. Mumbai Indians, they lost 2 on the bounce and were not able to get their UAE leg underway with a win. Mumbai Indians 155 for 6 in their 20 overs, and KKR, with minimal fuss, chased it down in just 15.1 overs with 30 balls to spare. Thrashed MI, absolutely thrashed MI. Man of the match was Sunil Narayan for his brilliant bowling, but a special mention definitely has to go to Venkatesh Iyer, who scored 53 from just 30 balls. Match 35 was between MS Dhoni and Virat Kohli, CSK versus RCB, and CSK won it by 6 wickets. The game was at Sharjah. RCB scored 156 for 6, under par, I feel. And then CSK vindicated my feeling by overhauling the target in 18.1 overs. Man of the match was DJ Bravo for his brilliant bowling in that game. Another one-sided affair between the Delhi Capitals and the Rajasthan Royals, with the former winning it by 33 runs. DC scored 154 for 6 and RR only managed 121 for 6. Man of the match was Shreyas Iyer for his brilliant batting performance. I think he scored some 40 odd runs of just 20 balls. I'm going to try to go through the remaining of the matches quickly so we get to the main part. Match 37, Hyderabad versus Punjab. Punjab won it by 5 runs. And this was a close game, actually. This was a nail biter. Punjab 125 for 7, SRH only 120 for 7. Finally, a close game, and Punjab pip SRH to keep their playoff hopes alive. Man of the match, however, was from the losing team, Jason Holder, because he was really the only one who was able to get a hold of those tough conditions. Match 38, Chennai Super Kings versus Kolkata Knight Riders, and CSK won a last ball thriller by 2 wickets. KKR won 71 for 6 in their 20 overs, and it's actually supposed to be CSK. I don't know why it says MI, but anyway, just that CSK chased the target on the last ball. Deepak Chahar held his nerve and took a single of the last ball to win it. Man of the match was Ravi Jadeja. He scored 32 of 19, if I remember correctly. This is supposed to be the Mumbai Indians. Anyway, match 39, RCB versus MI. Current India team T20 captain versus new India team T20 captain. Rohit Sharma versus Virat Kohli. RCB won an absolute one-sided game. They thrashed the Mumbai Indians by 54 runs. RCB scored 165 for 6, and Mumbai Indians were only managed to get bowled out for 111 in 18 overs. Back to the one-sided affairs after a few nail biters, and Virat beats Rohit by 54 runs. The man of the match was Glenn Maxwell for his unbeaten half century, but a special mention definitely has to go to a hat trick by Harshal Patel. First hat trick of this season. Match 40, Hyderabad versus RR, and finally SRH won something, just their second win of the season, won it by 7 wickets. Not going to go into the details of the score. You can just take a quick look at it if you want. Man of the match was Jason Roy. He scored a half century, as you can see in the picture. Next game, KKR DC. KKR won by 3 wickets. DC only managed 127 for 9, and KKR chased that down in 18.2 overs. So KKR overcome the DC challenge and strengthen their playoff hopes. Man of the match, Sunil Narayan, again for his brilliant bowling. Match 42, the Mumbai Indians versus the Punjab Kings, and Mumbai Indians registered their first win of the second leg by beating Punjab Kings convincingly. Punjab only managed 135 for 6, and Mumbai Indians got their target in 19 overs, scoring 137 for 4. Man of the match, Kieran Pollard. He bowled and he batted well, but special mention definitely needs to go to the other man on your screen, Hardik Pandya. 40 not out from 30 balls, instrumental in Mumbai Indians' successful chase. Next match, RR versus RCB. RCB won it by 7 wickets. Rajasthan Royals, they got 149 for 9, and RCB thrashed them by with 3 overs to go, 153 for 3. RCB continued to march on, thrash RR with 17 balls left. Man of the match was Yuzvendra Chahal for his brilliant spell of bowling, but special mention has to be given to an unbeaten half century by that man on your screen, Glenn Maxwell. 15 not out of just 30 balls. Next game, match 44, Chennai Super Kings versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. And Chennai Super Kings won a nail-biter by 6 wickets. Dhoni finishes off in style. You remember that line, don't you? And we got to see it yet again. Smashed I think Shivam Mavi over the ropes to secure the win for his side. SRH got 134 for 7 in their 20 overs, and Chennai Super Kings got they chased it down in 19.4 overs, 139 for 4. And after this game, we got to know two important things. One is that CSK have officially qualified for the playoffs, and two is that the Sunrisers Hyderabad have been officially knocked out of the tournament, meaning that there are only 7 teams left in the tournament. Man of the match was Josh Hazelwood for his 4 wickets in the game, but special mention has to go to Ruturaj Gaikwad for his 45 from 38 balls. And just soak in this picture here. MS Dhoni looks like that Wankhede night, doesn't it? On April 2011, he finished off the game for CSK here. Match 45, Kolkata Knight Riders versus the Punjab Kings. And the Punjab Kings won that. Another close game by 5 wickets. KKR 165 for 7. And Punjab chased it down in 19.3 overs. Punjab Kings, after beating KKR, they jolted KKR's playoff ambitions and beat them in a close game. And the man of the match was the captain, KL Rahul. Now heading into the absolute business end of the tournament, match 46 was between the last year's finalists, MI versus DC, and DC won by 4 wickets. The Mumbai Indians only managed 129 for 8, and DC chased it down with a few balls to spare. And with this win, the Delhi Capitals go top of the table, even above CSK, after defeating the defending champions. Man of the match was Akshar Patel, who's on your screen here. He was bowling really well. Match 47, Rajasthan Royals versus Chennai Super Kings, and RR thrashed the Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets. Now you might wonder, why have you put a picture of Ruturaj Gaikwad? It's because he scored his maiden IPL century, but it went in vain as KKR defeated CSK. CSK on the back of Ruturaj Gaikwad's 101 not out scored 189 for 4, but that was clearly not enough. Again, I don't know why it's MI. It should be Rajasthan Royals, but Rajasthan Royals chased it down in 17.3 overs, scoring 190 for 3. Man of the match was from the losing team, Ruturaj Gaikwad. He needed 5 runs of the last ball to get that 100, that magical 100, and he hit a 6, and no one could stop him from celebrating then. Match 48, Royal Challengers Bangalore versus the Punjab Kings, and RCB won it by 6 runs. RCB into the playoffs. Oh yes, this was the game where RCB were assured of a playoff spot, and they knocked Punjab Kings out, who would really need a miracle to qualify from there onwards. 164 for 7 for RCB, and then only 158 for 6 for the Punjab Kings. And Glenn Maxwell was the man of the match. Next game, match 49. SRH lose another. KKR beat the Sunrisers Hyderabad by 6 wickets, keeping their playoff hopes alive. SRH only managed 115 for 8 in the 20 overs, but that almost looked enough until the last couple of balls, as KKR managed to win it by 6 wickets with a couple of balls to spare. KKR continue to march on, almost qualify, so they're technically through, but they don't have that Q next to their name. and SRH lose another. Man of the match, though, was Shubman Gill for his 47 odd. Oh no, he's 50. He got a 50. He was celebrating it, as you can see. Yeah, 50. Chennai Super Kings versus Delhi Capitals, the number 1 and number 2 clash. Match number 50 was won by the Delhi Capitals by 3 wickets. DC make it 2 out of 2 against CSK this year. I remember they won the first game as well, and they are then assured of a top 2 finish. Now, you might be asking, what is so good in a top 2 finish? I'll explain it briefly now, but I'll go into the details in a bit. Basically, if you finish in the top 2, then you have 2 shots at making the finals. Whereas if you finish in the 3rd or 4th spot, you lose 1 game and you go home. But if you lose the qualifier 1, which is played between 1 and 2, you can still play the winner of the eliminator, which is 3 and 4, for a chance at the final again. The man of that match was Akshar Patel for his brilliant bowling. CSK scored only 136 for 5, and DC chased it down. Close game, but Hetmeyer finished it off 139 for 7. Match 51, Rajasthan versus Mumbai. MI won it convincingly by 8 wickets. They crushed the Rajasthan Royals, and they somehow kept their slight playoff hopes alive. Man of the match was Nathan Coulter-Nile for his brilliant bowling in only letting RR score 90 for 9. And then Ishan Kishan, as you can see on the screen here, was instrumental in chasing down that target in just 8.5 overs. So a convincing victory for the defending champs. Next match, match 52, was between RCB and SRH, and SRH won it by 4 runs. SRH play party poopers for RCB's top 2 finish hopes. Sunrisers Hyderabad 141 for 7, and then RCB only managing 137 for 6. And the man of the match was Kane Williamson for his 50. And finally, SRH won something. Match 53, Chennai Super Kings versus the Punjab Kings. And the Punjab Kings won that game by 6 wickets. After this game, CSK made it 3 losses in 3 at the end of at the business end of the tournament. Some worry signs for the men in yellow for sure. CSK 134 for 6 in their 20 overs, not enough at all, as Punjab Kings and KL Rahul in particular chased it down in just 13 overs. Punjab Kings hammer CSK with 7 overs left, but unfortunately for them, they still don't qualify. And the man of the match was KL Rahul. He scored 98 not out, missed out on that century by just 2 runs, but still a brilliant knock nevertheless. So after this game, CSK and Punjab Kings both finished off their league stages, 14 games for each. Match 54, Kolkata Knight Riders versus Rajasthan Royals. KKR won it by a big 86 runs. KKR through to the playoffs with an emphatic win over Rajasthan Royals by 89 runs. KKR scored 171 for 4 in their 20 overs, and then bowled RR out for just 85 in 16.1 overs. Man of the match was Shivam Mavi. As you can see on your screen, he's the guy in the middle. Win by 89 runs meant a almost certain playoff spot for KKR. Match 55. And also, before I move on to this, you see, match 55 and match 56 were played concurrently, making history in the IPL. This is the first time that 2 games were played simultaneously. I feel bad for Mumbai Indians and DC fans, for example. Which game do you watch? Anyway, Mumbai Indians scored 235 for 9, the 7th highest score in IPL history. And SRH scored just 193 for 8. And MI beat them by 42 runs. The Mumbai Indians needed a victory margin of 150 runs, which was almost not possible if they were to qualify for the playoffs, because their net run rate was poor, but KKR's was very, very good. Man of the match, no doubt, Ishan Kishan, for his 18 from just 30 balls. He really set the stage on fire. Last league stage finishes with RCB beating DC in a last ball thriller. Onto the playoffs now. Quick recap of that match. DC 164 for 5, and then RCB on the last ball. KS Bharat hit a 6 to win it, to take his team home 166 for 3. Man of the match was KS Bharat, right on your screen here. Well, here we go. Mumbai Indians, Punjab Kings, Rajasthan Royals, Sunrisers Hyderabad pack their bags and go home. They don't qualify. And these are the 4 teams that remain in this year's competition. The Delhi Capitals, number 1. Chennai Super Kings, number 2. Royal Challengers Bangalore, number 3. And Kolkata Knight Riders, number 4. These guys qualify. There was a lot of chat, experts saying who will qualify, who will not. That last playoff spot, and it's all settled eventually with Owen Morgan's KKR pipping the rest, going through to number 4. Here you have it, schedule for the playoffs. October 10th, that's tomorrow. A Sunday night qualifier 1 between Delhi Capitals, who finishes number 1 on the points table, and Chennai Super Kings, who finishes 2nd. October 11 will be the eliminator between RCB, who finishes 3rd, and KKR, who finishes 4th. Now, the winner of qualifier 1, that'll be tomorrow, will go straight to the final to be played on October 15th, and the loser will still wait and play on October 13th against the winner of the eliminator between RCB and KKR. And the loser of the eliminator, I'm sorry, but they go home. And then qualifier 2 will be on October 13th, that's Wednesday, between the loser of qualifier 1 and the winner of the eliminator. And the winner of that will play the winner of qualifier 1 in the grand finale on October 15th, Friday. Current points table, DC finish first with 20 points, 10 wins from 14 games. CSK second, 9 wins from 14. RCB as well, 9 wins from 14. They finished 3rd, but on an inferior net run rate to CSK, they finished 3rd. And KKR finished 4th with 7 wins from 14 games, finishing with 14 points. Mumbai, Punjab, Rajasthan, Hyderabad. See you guys next year. But what really matters is that the 4 teams that have qualified, as you can see, DC, CSK, RCB, KKR. That is it for today. That is it for the league stage. On to the playoffs now. Thank you very much for your time. I know this is a slightly longer video than usual, but just wanted to recap every game. That's it for today then. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed. Here's your checklist for today. Like this video, check. Subscribe to my channel, check. Activate that notification bell, check. Share this video with everyone and spread the word, check. Thank you very much. On to the playoffs now. Goodbye.